Oh, yeah. Freak out, freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future. Yeah, and I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er Mind is
it's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er Mind. 49er Mind.
Can't shake it. It's 49er Mind that I got. It's 49er Shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A written go session about our red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions, let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how they spin in the spot. Just call that back, call that crack, call that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the storyline, as long as the story aligns with a 49er Mind.
49er Mind.
It's not just a thought process,
49er Mind,
but a way of life. Bashar.
49er Mind.
Way of life.
49er Mind.
What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing for a special late night edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans? I am pleased to have my guest here, another great guest, Warowski from Southern California. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Bashar? Thank you for having me on. I'm pumped up.
I know you're pumped up because you messaged me on Sunday night asking me if I was going to do a show, and a few other people were messaging me, and certain things got in the way. I was trying to do a show last night, and something got in the way, unfortunately. But hey, here we are. It doesn't matter. Hey, it's not Victory Monday. It's a Victory Tuesday. Let's just call it that. So we're live right now, and yes, we have begun this show to talk about this beautiful victory. The San Francisco 49ers went into Pittsburgh and dominated the Steelers 30-7. Early on, man, what did you like about the game early on, bro? What stood out for you?
The defense, bro. Fred Warner, one of the announcers, he looked like he was getting shot out of a cannon. This dude is amazing, man. This dude, he set the tone early. So what stood out early in that game? Two things. Fred Warner just playing like he's on another planet, and the confidence in Brock Purdy. And that first drive where he came out, I think it was the first play on offense, the camera zoomed in, Purdy staring down the defense. I said, oh, this dude's locked in. This dude is not phased. He's not crapping his pants. This dude is ready to go. And sure enough, he was, man. So those two things, the start of the game, is what got me hyped. And then we saw what the game was, so I was even more hyped. I was so hyped. I had so much energy. I'm texting my boy Bashar, bro, I got to get on here and release some energy.
Well, let's act like the game just ended. But before we do that, let me say what's up to some people who are in the chat. I'm not expecting a huge turnout because I know it's late, 9:30 Pacific time, but it's all good. We got an East Coaster in the chat, though. We got Nighthawk Afterburner. Says, hello, everyone. Thank you. Says, hit the like button. We appreciate you, Nighthawk. Really good friend of mine, a famous caller on the Rombo Show. If you remember Rombo Show, Nighthawk's awesome, man. We got Dantan Castillo over the 209. Says, let's go Niners. Great to see you here, bro. Appreciate you, man. I mean, I titled the video, Brock Purdy leads dominant 49ers offense and win over the Steelers. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, I'll be honest, sure, with the whole questionable things in terms of the 49ers, with the roster of who was who at the quarterback position, the major injury that Brock Purdy sustained. I mean, there was some question marks. It wasn't like it was an ACL tear where the NFL has a remarkable amount of data on history of ACL injuries. So we know about the timetable of ACL injuries. The UCL is very odd. It's very rare. And only one other quarterback pretty much had that same surgery. So a lot of us assumed it may take longer for Brock to get back out there. I was thinking maybe week 4. And when they announced that he was coming back to camp at such an early stage, I was like, whoa, that's early. What are they doing here? They're forcing him. They're rushing him. There was a lot of uncertainty at the end of the day. But early on in the preseason, he looked good. They didn't work him too hard in the preseason, but the little we saw of him in the preseason, the offense ran smooth. Things were smooth. Things were, crisp. And we just saw it again this game, and we saw it even more. And it looked like the same Brock Purdy that we saw win those games last year. I didn't see a difference. I didn't see a difference in the body type. I didn't see a difference in the throwing motion. I didn't see a difference in the body language. It all looked the same. So, hey, man, if he's our guy, man. Let's do this.
The best thing that could have happened to us, like I had said on your one of your previous shows, is that he picked up where he left off, and sure enough, he did. And
yes,
he made the record books, right? Is it 6 straight wins, 2 touchdowns each game in the record books,
and a certain quarterback rating as well. I think it was like a 95 quarterback rating and above for all those games. So I didn't know, I didn't know he was going to make history. I didn't know he was on pace to make history. Maybe they just didn't say much about it until it actually happened. So people did come in late. Appreciate you guys. I didn't announce the show. We were supposed to go at 10, and then we decided to go on a little bit earlier. Again, it is a late show, but appreciate everybody here. Let me drop some love to some people here. 49er dude, that is. Sorry. It says, man, you're up late. What's up, fellas? That's the guy he's from LA. He did the theme music for this show, actually. I played the music earlier. Great guy. Has been on the show before, actually. Awesome dude. Nighthawk afterwards says that was awesome. Niners. Brant Cope says, smash the like button. Everyone, appreciate you. Check out his YouTube channel. Bebop says, yo, go Niners. Tommy Huxley says, do the Lambs have a good or line? Or do see the guns just suck? What up, Red Jet? How you doing? She says, Grammy superstar doing what he does best. Team Bashar, thank you very much. What's up, Riddy? How you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. Great to see you. I believe you're in some like rock band or something. I have you on my Instagram. I think you're in some like heavy metal band or something like that, which is cool. And Nighthawk wants to play Dallas already. He says, I want to play Dallas so we can beat them. Thank you, guys. Steve-O's here, too. What's up, Steve-O? That's the real Steve-O. There's also Steve-O Customs that comes on, too, and I used to think they were the same person, but it's 2 different people. But early on in the game, man, I asked you about early on. What I really liked and what really stood out, the defense was on the field first, and that defense was not letting them have it. They were just all over the place. I mean, Fred Warner, I'm not sure if it was the first series, but Fred Warner smashed Najee Harris and, just made him look like a plate of mashed potatoes or something.
Najee Harris is a big dude.
He is. I mean, early on, and then on the first defensive series, Drake Jackson got a sack. I was like, okay, cool. This is awesome because as we remember last year, Drake Jackson, in the first few weeks of the season, he had 3 sacks and he was batting down passes. But then for the middle of the season until the end in the playoffs, we never saw Drake Jackson at all. He worked on his body. He built his strength. We heard some good things about him in terms of mini camps and training camp. And, I was hoping to see what Drake Jackson can do, but I just wasn't sure. I was thinking maybe we should still sign a proven veteran defensive end guy just to go all in like the Rams always do. But Drake Jackson, right off the bat, gets a sack on Cody Pickett, sets the tone. We get good field position, and Niners had the ball, and on their first possession, and they crossed the 50-yard line. And this is one of the things I liked about the game early on. We didn't settle to punt or go for a field goal or whatever. We went for it on 4th and 1, boy, and right to Kittle, Purdy to Kittle, first down.
The confidence in Kyle, the disrespect to go into at the Steelers, who have a legit defense in their house, opening first drive, we're going for it on 4th. Just the cojones, bro. The cojones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I mean, and there's been a lot of times where Niner fans have been critical about Kyle and even previous Niner coaches where we just don't go for it on 4th down like other teams do. And we're just passive and we're not aggressive. You know what I mean? So it's always nice to see a Niner team be aggressive in those situations.
When the 4th down came up, I said, bro, punt it, bro. This team's too good. This team's too good. The defense is, we cannot give up these things to this team. This team's too good. This is not where you do this, sir. But I was wrong.
Hey, sometimes it's good to be wrong, right? Hey, I had some doubts. Again, I mentioned it earlier, doubts about Purdy's health and whether he'd be the same player So good that he's proving me wrong. That's great. I want to win a Super Bowl. So let's see what we can do with Purdy and this rest of this Niners squad. We got Snapman in here all the way on the East Coast. Is what to do once again. It's been a while since I did a solo stream on my channel. I usually collab, but just a stream that's based on my channel. I usually do the TED Talks Ball with Bash on TED on Fridays at 3:00, and it's a simulcast on my channel. And today we did the Bringing the Heat, which was on Mariah's channel, but I just wanted to. I was supposed to do something yesterday, and that didn't pan out, and so we're making up for lost times. And Woroski, who's always wanted to have on my channel as a solo guest, is finally here, and because of the way the schedules worked out, we're just doing it a little bit later. But I'm glad you guys are here, so that's cool. So Really says Kyle with some confidence. There you go. Yeah, it's good to be confident in those type of situations. It's good that he has a quarterback that he possibly believes in. Maybe he didn't believe in, Trey or Jimmy or whoever he had before that, but it's good if he finally has a quarterback that he believes in. Maybe this team can go further than the NFC Championship game or get to Super Bowl and actually win one. I don't want to give this team incredible lofty expectations, but I think we're really good.
It is week one, and a lot could happen between week one and the start of the playoffs. We know that. But you could not have wanted a better way to come out, man. The way this team came out, incredible.
Totally agree. So Dan Castillo's in the chat. Says, when you watch the film, Ayuk was even knocking down that defensive line up front due to beast. I didn't catch that part, but I did catch him making some nice blocks down the field. Ayuk's always been a tenacious blocker. He just puts all his effort into it. In the preseason, at one point, he was blocking some guy in the end zone. I believe it was a DB corner or safety. And at the end of the play, Ayuk, for whatever reason, had the guy in the headlock. I guess the guy rubbed Ayuk the wrong way, and Ayuk didn't let him have it. It was pretty funny.
Don't upset Ayuk. That boy is nasty, bro. Do not get on Ayuk's backside, the NFL. You want to avoid this man.
Definitely. We got Randy Daytona here. That you got to call him Randy Daytona 500. Red Jet, what's she saying? She said, this is a week-to-week season. Yes, exactly. We have to get past the Lambs, take the NFC West League early. And you being a Southern California guy, are you going to the Rams game by any chance?
No, I'm not going to the game. It's too much trouble for me with work conflicts and stuff like that. But I do catch all the games, that's for sure.
There you go. And life gets in the way. But have you been to any of the Rams games down there in that new stadium, Levi South?
I have not been to Levi South yet, no.
Oh, you gotta make it out there, man. Hopefully, you make it happen.
Been to the Coliseum plenty of times. Not SoFi, not yet. Been invited to. I've had family members, Niner fans, that invite me, but it has not worked out yet. But I do plan on going.
There you go. So, early on in the game, Ayuk gets that touchdown in the middle of the field, in the middle of the end zone. Sorry, it was about a 10-yard pass or so, and a nice little jump pass. And Ayuk straight up cooked. He cooked Patrick Peterson. He just did that little swerve maneuver, the stanky leg, whatever you want to call it. And Patrick Peterson was on the ground basically, and Ayuk was home free at that point.
Peterson went this way, and his ankles went that way.
Exactly. Later in the game, we saw another touchdown where in the back of the end zone. No, sorry, to the right corner of the end zone. It was about a 20-yard throw. Nice throw by Purdy to just throw it in a very, very tight window. And Patrick Peterson draped Ayuk on that play too. It wasn't like Ayuk was wide open or anything, and it was arguably a no call on a pass interference if you think about it. So to throw that ball into a tight window, that tight of a window, and get it in there with that type of accuracy, and then Ayuk just being Ayuk, out muscling him, out leaping him, high pointing the ball, just making an incredible catch, getting his feet in bounds. I was like, and when that happened, I was excited initially, but then I was like, oh, I hope the refs don't take this away from us, so that would suck. But we did our thing. I
thought they were, because I don't know if he got that second foot in. But then the replay showed it, and I was like, yo, that was a play. That was amazing, man. Amazing. And again, the confidence. You got veteran Patrick Peterson comes out and says, I'm going to get my pick on Purdy, blah, 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 blah. And what do the Niners do? What does Kyle, the Niners? They go right at him. They score 2 on him. They scored 2, and Patrick Peterson was also the last guy to tackle McCaffrey before McCaffrey fell in the end zone. So Patrick Peterson, Mr. Big Mouth, is in every highlight of the Niners touchdowns this week. Patrick Peterson, shut it up, bro. Patrick Peterson has a history of being Mr. Toast when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. Those days with Alex Smith and Crabtree, the dude was Pro Bowl, blah, blah, but he always had trouble with the Niners, and it's continuing today. Patrick Peterson, shut it up.
Yeah, that's good that happened. I hope more DBs throughout this season tend to say whatever they want to the media, and then we just prove them wrong come game day. We got Lo Jackson. Welcome to the channel. Never seen you. Oh, I do know you, actually. You're Lo the Truth. I remember you changed your name, actually. Great to see you, though. Always good to have you here. Appreciate you, bro. And yeah, so let me do this because since we're mentioning Patrick Peterson and Brock Purdy, just going to have a little fun right here and share this little picture. That's Brock Purdy back when he was an Arizona Cardinal fan. He grew up in Arizona. And that's him and Patrick Peterson. There you go. And lo and behold.
There was a meme. There was a meme with this picture that said, "It's nice when you support your son in his football."
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. So it's just ironic, how things turn, how the tables turn, and he was rooting for Patrick Peterson back in the day when he was a Cardinal, and then lo and behold, he ends up being the guy throwing touchdowns on him after he was talking crap about Purdy in the media. So it's pretty fun. Randy Daytona says, "Let CMC Kook run him extra more. You want him to get more carries because a lot of Niner fans were saying that we should have dispersed the carries a bit more. CMC had himself a hell of a game. He had way more yards than I thought he did when I pulled up the box score. I mean, he had 22 carries for 152 yards, 1 TD, man. So he did his thing, especially the first play of the game in the second half, man. Yeah, he broke those tackles and went home free. And Ayuk and Ray McLeod both threw great blocks.
CMC's a bowling ball. I'm one of the guys that said, "Yo, could we sit CMC down a little bit and bring in Mitchell?" I actually wanted to see more of Mitchell because I wanted to see some ground and pound against this Steeler defense to limit the abuse on McCaffrey. But McCaffrey, like Daytona said, this is a guy you have to have on the field, man, because any play he's gonna break it. So there's a fine line that the Niners got to worry about is protect CMC because it's a long season. But again, when he's not on the field, he's a big part of the offense. So it's shaky. I kind of wanted to see a little bit when after the third quarter. It's like that's it. CMC, like let's see Mitchell. Let's see Mitchell. But Mitchell couldn't get any traction this game. I hope he can pick it up because I'd really love to see that 1-2 combo, thunder and lightning.
Yeah, I'd love to see it too. I mean, it's unfortunate because Mitchell was involved a little bit, but it didn't really impress him. 5 carries for 10 yards. That's not really going to do anything for you. Actually, our second leading rusher was Purdy. 3 carries, 20 yards, 6.7. And he ran a few times out of the pocket and got some extra yards for us. I don't want Purdy running too much, so I don't want to see him. I don't want us to prevent injury. He's our guy. Debo himself, 2 carries, 8 yards. That's not really impressive. So, we got Jordan Mason in the mix. TDP was sat out. He was inactive. But Jordan Mason, he's a pretty explosive runner. He's even they said his breakaway ability shined a bit more in training camp this year, more so than last year because he had dropped some weight and gotten in better shape. But he did have a case of the fumbleitis in camp and in the preseason too. So hopefully Elijah Mitchell gets back to his old self and just stays healthy, man, because we'd have a really, really nice plethora of running backs that we could use to disperse the carries a bit. And I love CMC, but then again, I don't want to see him overused either.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of Mason. I'm a big fan of Mason these previous years, but the fumbleitis thing is worrying me. And it's like, come on, bro, let's get it together, dude. I'm rooting for you, bro. Hold on, protect the rock.
Exactly. And who knows, if another running back becomes available somewhere down the road, who knows who else we might pick up. 49ers tend to do that. They do pick up a lot of guys mid-season. Was there anything on early on other than, like I mentioned, Drake Jackson earlier in the game, or we could call him Drake Saxon? We did have the return of Bosa. Let me see right here. So Bosa Bear, Smaller Bear, made a little first time back after all that time, missed and his contract woes. And, it's just like with all this uncertainty and all this negativity that was going on with the 49ers offseason, like once that Bosa contract was done, it just seemed like a huge weight lifted off of all the 49er fans' shoulders. And we just said, what, we're primed and we're ready for game day. And Bosa was primed and ready, and he played a lot. It didn't look like a player that they just said, oh, well, he's only going to play 10 snaps or 12 snaps and that's it. He seemed like he was out there just like he always was, you know.
And I gotta be honest with you, Bashar. When he held out and they brought him for the Pittsburgh game, first of all, I was worried because to me the Pittsburgh game was very important. It's a big game for me. I thought we gotta win this one. This is one we could drop. Why? Because we have a history starting off slow. So when Bosa was holding out, I was like, yeah. Then they paid the man, and I go, shit. Now he's scheduled to play, and I go, please don't let this be some sort of curse that after we pay this dude, he goes out. And no, he played. He played more than I expected to see him. And then what I was hoping wouldn't happen to us happened to the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
Sorry. We've had plenty of bad luck, bad karma go our way early on in whatever 49er seasons, all the way back to the Harbaugh days where we lost players now for the season. So God forbid that ever happens to us again. We've dealt with that way too much more so than any other team. So we hopefully we've gotten all that out of the way and we can just concentrate on winning. Health is wealth, as they say. Well, Corey Davis says, hello at 49er Minded. Good to have you. Randy Daytona is poking some fun here. I don't know about this. He says, breaking news, Elijah Mitchell has a foot fungus. Will be out until the playoffs. Come on, guy. Come on.
Hope not. I tell you, that could be a combination. That could be thunder and lightning right there. But CMC and Mitchell, stay tuned.
Riddy says Elijah Mitchell will be clutch this year, staying healthy. We needed to rotate the 2-3 headed monster. That'd be nice, man. Just keep everybody fresh. And the thing with CMC is we can afford to sit him at times with the run game in general because we can save him for the passing game. He's so effective in the passing game. We didn't really I don't think we even targeted him in the passing game this time around. But in general, he's just it's like having an extra slot receiver out there. And him and Debo are very interchangeable. Debo's like the wide back, and you can kind of say CMC's a running receiver. I don't know how you want to call it, but it's cool that you can interchange those guys. They're versatile. It's good to have versatility. And what do you think about Debo, man? In this past game, I know Ayuk stole the show. Eight targets, 8 catches, 120 yards, 60.1 a catch, 2 TDs. And if you want to talk more about Ayuk, go ahead, and you can talk about Debo too.
Well, the thing with Debo is he's like a video game. He can break out any play, any little dump. He can take it to the house, right? But how do you not utilize Ayuk when Ayuk is getting too wide open? When he's getting so wide open, it's like you'd be foolish not to give this dude the rock. He's doing everything he's supposed. Ayuk is playing lights out right now. That's week 1 game. Last year the dude was just playing incredible. I expected that he would be the featured wide receiver for the Niners very soon, and it looks like it was this Sunday. This dude is the dude, bro. Ayuk is he's getting too wide open, bro. So I saw that maybe Debo wasn't going to get his touches. But, again, you don't have to do much for Debo. You can put him in at running back, and this dude's going to score a touchdown on somebody, bro. So it's a nice problem to have is Ayuk just cooking dudes and Debo just sitting there not taking the punishment, right? Staying healthy. And again, have him on the field. How you gonna defend with Ayuk, Debo, Kittle,
Jennings, Ronnie Bell? See if the list goes on and on.
What do you do, bro?
We didn't even have to use Jennings in this game. I mean, CMC, I wasn't sure if he had caught any passes. He was 3 for 17 for his receptions in terms of yardage and catching. And we barely used 3 for 19, but we didn't have to really. I mean, other than that fourth down play where Kittle made that conversion and got the yak yards, we didn't really have to throw too much other than Ayuk. Ayuk and Debo pretty much stole the show. And what I liked about Debo, he made an effort to make some catches that were somewhat difficult too. They weren't just like easy catches that were right to him or anything like that. And it wasn't like the typical thing with Debo where he catches a little screen or a little bubble and runs for 5 or 10 yards. These were passes that were, past the 6 or whatever. So good to see that. I want to see Debo in general just develop more with his routes and make tough grabs too. It'll be a great luxury to have with this team. And of course, I'm still big on Jawan Jennings as our third receiver. Who knows? We might lose him, but we do have Ronnie Bell waiting in the wings, and Ray McLeod isn't bad either.
You know what's funny is I actually expected Jennings to get a lot more looks because like they're going to be double teaming Ayuk. They're going to have all these guys on Debo, and Ayuk. I mean, Jennings is just going to he's going to be wide open. They're going to have this dude like on man. He's going to be on an island because they're locked in on Ayuk and Debo. And it was funny. They didn't really go to him. So, but again, anytime they needed something, Ayuk was wide open. So, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Is that the cops in your background or whatever? What's going on?
Yeah, Long Beach, California.
LBC, just like Snoop Doggy Dogg said, right? So much drama in the LBC. Dan Castillo says they game plan too much for Kittle, Debo, and CMC. So, man, Ayuk all day. Who was it, Mike Tomlin, that told the media that they were going to game plan a whole lot for CMC? So, there's just too many studs on this team. You can game plan for whoever you want, but, somebody's going to get open. Somebody's going to cook some way or another. That's how I see it. And Randy Daytona says, I think the Steelers is prepared for Debo screens and Kittle over the middle, miscalculated by Tomlin. I think it's a D coordinator's nightmare almost facing this team now. Now that you have a quarterback, let's talk about Brock, man. I mean, for all this time under the Kyle Shanahan regime, the majority of the time that we've seen this team, the majority of the time that we won these games, Jimmy was at quarterback. And for me, he fell out of favor with me for quite some time. I mean, in the very beginning, when we first had Jimmy, I liked what he could do. And he did some good things. And it just seemed like, after the 2019, after the Super Bowl season, things just got a bit worse for Jimmy. So it's like, I don't know, like I'd watch the game. Sure, we'd win the games, but there are plenty of times where I'd watch the games and I'd cuss or I'd scream or I'd send little voice messages to my friends like, hey, what the F did Jimmy just do on that play? What the F is going on here? He overthrew that receiver by that receiver's 6'1", and here goes Jimmy throwing it to the pass to him like he's like 7'5". Like, what's he doing? Or or the ball would come there late. Like all these little nuances, all these little things in games that we won that would just irritate me and piss me off. Like I feel like with Brock, I can sit back and I can watch the games and I can have fun and like we'll win and it feels like a fun win. You know what I mean? It's like not a win where I'm stressing out half the time. Like, damn, why did he almost get our guy hurt? And everything just this offense runs smooth with him. Sure, we're not going to see the consistent 50-yard deep balls or whatever like that. Maybe you'll get to the point where we don't have to the way this defense is playing. So I just like what I see in Brock so far, overcoming that injury, the confidence, the quickness of the feet. For the most part, the awareness, there are some times that I'll speak up on that I'm a little iffy about, but what do you think, man?
Well, we got to remember this kid is basically a rookie. Yeah, he had his rookie season last year, but the games played, to me, he looked so much better to me. I don't know why. He just looked so much better to me. If he's on, it seems like he's progressing more and more and more every week. So the best may be yet to come. As far as Jimmy, the problem with Jimmy is you got these playmakers and you can't get them the ball. Purdy is putting it right where he's putting it in their hands. These receivers are snatching these balls and they're taking off. I don't know how many times I pulled my hair watching Garoppolo miss those, throwing it to the ground or overthrowing the dude. And I was like, bro, come on, you're a quarterback in the NFL, dude. I am ecstatic about Purdy, man. And this is the dude, bro. This guy has it. He has it. He has a head. He understands what's going on. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I can't say nothing wrong about this kid yet. I think the best is yet to come. If he's getting better and better, shit, I'm standing by. I want to see more of this.
Hey, things are looking good so far. So again, let's talk about this. So I mean, we like what we see in Purdy. There's very few people I could think that are still skeptical about Purdy. My main thing was Purdy's health and his recovery from his injury. But let's segue into this because I mentioned something about Purdy's awareness. For the most part, his pocket presence was good. A few times, I mean, I don't want to I've been ragging on McKivitz a lot, let's just say, ever since the game goes on. But some people were trying to say that, oh, well, maybe on a few of those plays where McKivitz got beat, that Purdy could have sensed the awareness. And there were times, I saw a couple of those times where Purdy didn't look or didn't notice the pressure until way after he got hit. And keep in mind, that's not his blind side, right? The right side is not his blind side. So I'm hoping Purdy can sense the heat coming a bit more on those type of plays. Hopefully McKivitz doesn't get beat this often either. Who knows? We may look for an upgrade. The first half it was okay, but there were times in the second half where I was just like, bro, like when Purdy was getting rocked like that by TJ Watt, I was like, bro, like if that hit was any harder in the right spot, like, well, here comes Sam Darnold taking snaps for us, you know.
There was even where he dropped back and threw, and it was like a replay of that Eagle games, and dude hit his arms. I was like, no,
it was close. It did not look good. I don't want to see that again, bro. I just don't.
And like I said, in McKivitz's defense, I mean, he's lined up against TJ Watt. TJ Watt's going to get his. He always does. I mean,
took him a while to heat up, but once he heated up, he was pretty badass. And it sucks because we have Trent Williams, right? But these great pass rushes never seem to go up against Trent Williams. They always just go to the other side that they think is easier, you know. Whether that's their normal side or not. It's like we barely get to see Trent Williams go up against the other team's best pass rusher, you know.
Yeah, you're not going to get very far trying to go through Trent Williams, bro.
And great point, Randy. It's good that you brought that up. I did hear about this as well. He said we ran and passed about the same amount, left, right, middle run pass, more success in left. Yeah, I was going to mention that too. If you notice, like, I don't think they have much faith in McKivitz's run blocking either. You know, a lot of the runs were to the left side, were Trent Williams. Now Aaron Banks is nice, and they had some good success there. But I just don't want the team to be so predictable at the same time either. You know.
And if it becomes a problem, I mean, it's just going to have to be something that Cal has to scheme with sending him help, whether it be a tight end or a back to help the dude out. So yeah, it might take a weapon away, but it's going to get you protection. So they're going to have to go to the film and see what they can do. But again, it was TJ Watt. TJ Watt does that to everybody.
Yeah, TJ Watt's a beast. He's a monster, no doubt. What'd you think about our D line, though? You can go on and see. Tell us what you liked. You know, we got a couple new players in the mix, and you can tell us what you saw.
Dude, just lights out defense, bro. These dudes were nasty, man. Nasty defense. I like that Drake Jackson, his athleticism showed on some of those sacks he got. There was one where the guy was Pickett was rolling out and he ran him down, and I was like, "Oh, that's good, man. It's something you want to see." But it looked like they didn't. Did they even throw it towards Lanier? I think they did some short passes on Lanier, but nobody's picking on this dude no more.
Yeah, they did pick out Ambry Thomas a bit.
Yeah. And they even tried going at Ward when Ward got the pick.
Yeah, like, Ward had it. That was like right too, Ward. I don't know. Ward had an easy one right there. And whenever Kenny throws a pass, we pick it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can't blame Ward for catching it, you know.
What's up, Aaron from 49ers First Takes Podcast? Check out his YouTube channel. It says he's over on the East Coast. He's in New York. He says about 1 a.m. But I want to give a quick shout out to Bass. Appreciate you, bro. Melissa, another East Coaster. She says, "Wow, 1 a.m. Hi, Bash. Yeah, you know, due to scheduling, I gotta accommodate to my guests, but we're making it happen. We're here. We're supposed to. I had another guest that was supposed to come on with me yesterday. That didn't pan out necessarily, but yeah, today we're making it happen. It's never too late. You know." It's a Victory Tuesday. It's still Tuesday, so usually people do Victory Monday, but it's all good. One more thing I want to mention really quick.
And thank you to all that are here.
Oh yeah,
dedicated fans. Thank you. We love you, bro.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know who Warowski is, good buddy of mine. He's on YouTube. Actually, has a YouTube channel. He used to be part of the NFL Trash Talk Circle. If you remember him from those days, and I put the link to his YouTube channel, and you wanted to check out some of his old videos. He's on there. Big diehard Niner fan from Southern California. Speaking of diehard Niner fans, Steers had a terrible towel, but I got this towel right here. It says, "Who's got it better than us? Nobody." I got this towel when we played the Chicago Bears in the Monday night game. It was Colin Kaepernick's first start. So that's when I had this towel, and we were waving this towel in Pittsburgh. The 49er fans showed up deep. I mean, all type of 49er content creators were there too. John Chapman, Wayne Breezy, John V, who's been on this show before. I'm probably forgetting some other names. Roscoe from Twitter Spaces and Jesse Naylor, Terradome. And multiple people who've been on this channel before. All those guys were at the game, and they were all ripping hard. And some of the chatters who come on these YouTube chats were at the game too, and just great. Ty Alston was there. Just great to see all these Niner fans that were at the game ripping hard, and it just looked like a blast. And it seemed like the Niners, I mean, you think of the Steelers as a stoic franchise in most Super Bowls, and this, tough, like blue collar type city with a rocking stadium. And, I'm watching the game and I'm hearing, "Let's go Niners, let's go Niners," like super loud, man. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I took a screenshot of the TV and I sent it to a Steeler fan that I was trashing to all week. I said, "Yo, bro, this looks like a Niner home game." He goes, "They're sprinkled in there," he said. I said, "Okay."
Oh, it was more than sprinkled, man. It was more than sprinkles.
No, the picture I took showed a lot of red. There was a lot of red out there.
My bad, Kenny. You probably thought that I was starting at 10. That was the initial plan, to start at 10. But once I found out that he could start early, we got on here early. But appreciate you, bro. Fired up 49ers all the way. In the Pacific Northwest, we got Dan the Cornman, 49er fan and hardcore Nebraska Cornhuskers fan, says, "Dude, that was a good game." That Purdy looked good, and he shut up his haters. Yeah, I don't think he has haters anymore. I mean, there was some skepticism. I mean, I was pretty skeptical about Purdy's injury. I mentioned it earlier. Here were some of my past shows, and I was I wanted to see what Trey Lance could possibly do on this team, but it didn't work out that way. And Purdy solidified his spot as a starting quarterback. So that's who we're rolling with, and that's our guy. And he's showing that he belongs. He's not showing that he's tentative from, there's a mental thing when, like, if you ever got in a car accident before, even, or there's a mental thing when you're coming back from an injury too. It's you may get jittery, you may get worried. Like I loved what I saw from Jimmy G before he had an ACL tear, and it seemed like he was never the same guy when he came back, at least for me. But so far that one game, even the preseason games, Purdy does not look like he's been phased at all by his injury. He looks fairly confident. I don't see any difference. He looks just as fast. Looks just as quick, making the proper reads. Of course, I just don't see anything in his game that tells me, oh, wow, that guy, he regressed a little bit because he got hurt,
Yeah, I was excited to see that he didn't turn the ball over. To me, that's a big thing. I'm a hardball guy. When Harbaugh was with the Niners, protect the ball and have every possession end with a kick, whether it's a field goal or an extra point. Protect the ball. I'm huge on that. Protect the ball. And Purdy did a good job of it. I think he's been doing a good job of it. When I was first impressed with Purdy was that Miami game last year. And when Miami said, "Oh, we're going to rattle this dude," and they were blitzing and blitzing and blitzing. And this kid kept his composure and he fought through and he won. I said, there's something special about this dude, man. There's something special. In every game since, he's been very poised. 2 playoff wins already. The dude is just, I mean, we struck gold with this kid, as far as I'm concerned.
There's quarterbacks who played 10, 12 years that don't have 2 playoff wins. So let's just say that. Riddy says, when Pickett threw that interception, Seaward snagged it, knew the 49ers were going to take the game. Oh, yeah, that was just that was easy pickings on Pickett, no pun intended. Dan says, we got a full house in here tonight. You got to keep the podcast going a little longer tonight, and we're going to go till 1 a.m. How about that? Just kidding. we'll go until the flow of conversation somewhat ends. Dan the Cornman says, looking at our schedule, we should be 10-0 before the Seahawks game. That would be pretty badass, man. And just for historically, the Steelers do open up very well in their stadium. Not that I thought they were an amazing team and had a great quarterback or anything, but I just thought, oh, well, I thought it was going to be a much closer game. I predicted 28-19. But, hey, prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. If we end up blowing the team out, great. Wonderful. I love it.
I got a bit worried on that final drive that Pittsburgh scored to get on the board because Pittsburgh is usually a second half team. So I was like, yo, man, I started to get worried. But I think we came out that we scored on that opening drive in the third quarter. And I was like, yo, man, nobody's stopping the Niners today, bro.
Yeah, right before the half, I was kind of getting pissed low key because we had pinned the Steelers at the 5-yard line. And then here they go, and Najee Harris rips off this big run. I'm like, oh damn, this dude just ripped off a big run. And then I was telling myself, like, don't hit him out of bounds. And lo and behold, Lenore hits him out of bounds. I'm like, what the F are you doing? What are we doing? You know, and then like all the moment that was just a huge moment. The run, the penalty, just a huge momentum swing. You know, Freiermuth got the TD from Pickett, and Greenlaw covered him very well. Actually, Greenlaw covered him very well, which is a great throw on that play. But little momentum swings like that will get you worried. And you said they're a second half team. Lo and behold, in the first half of the game, third quarter of the game, the first play for us, CMC just takes it to the house, man. I'm like, okay, there you go, CMC. That's why we traded all those picks to get you, bro.
That basically deflated Pittsburgh, bro. They knew it was a wrap, bro. They were a little pumped up going into the half, like, okay, here we go, we're getting it together. And then CMC did that, and it was like, yo, pack it up.
Yeah, Melissa says, what impressed me was not flinching, making his start versus Brady. Oh yeah, he played Brady, right? He beat Brady. Too many get in their head trying to prove an established quarterback. That was impressive. Yeah, definitely, I agree. She said how he pulled the Dre Greenlaw on the injury, didn't care about the 12s, and brought that dog to Seattle. Yeah, he had the rib injury, but he got off to a slow start in the Seattle game. But not sure if that was the same game he had the rib injury, because he beat Seattle twice. But in general, if you beat Seattle twice, man, you're a winner. There you go. And we beat Seattle as a team 3 times last season, so that felt good. Dan the Corman says, what's he saying? He's saying the Seahawks made the Rams look good on Sunday. They sure did. I think defenses have figured out Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno put up pretty good numbers last year when he wasn't playing the Niners. But I think he might be coming back down to reality.
I always say Geno Smith's always going to be Geno Smith, bro. I don't expect anything more from this dude.
Yeah, I got you. Oh my gosh, Geno Smith, man. Yeah, he was drafted pretty high. I remember he dwindled down in that draft. I forgot what round he went in, but he was like pretty hyped up coming out of college, and they were kind of making a big deal. Oh, why is he dropping in the draft? But hey, at least he got a second chance in his NFL career, and he did pretty. They gave him the comeback player of the year, right? And some people are like, oh, well, what did he come back from? What did he come back from? He didn't come back from anything. He was never good to begin with.
He came back.
That's all good.
He came back from being Geno Smith.
Oh man, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Playing the. Anything else you want to cover about the Steelers? It looks like we kind of covered everything. Let's talk about the defense, because I did predict. Well, I was hoping. I'm not gonna say I'm a predictor or anything like that, but in our pregame show that I did with Twin Maker, he predicted that Ayuk would get the first touchdown. I said CMC. The score prediction was 28-19. I was off. We blew him out. But I did say that Talanoa Hufanga was going to get the first INT. So I was really hyped up when Hufanga got that interception, because I was a big fan of Hufanga. He had a nice hit too, right, in the end zone. Forgotten what drive it was exactly, but he stuck. What's up?
He laid out freer move.
He did. And it almost seemed like on that play I was a little critical slightly, because as much as I love big hits, I was thinking to myself that, I watched the replay. I'm like, damn, you know what? If Hufanga just slowed down a little bit and just played the ball, he may have been able to get an INT. But at the end of the day, he broke up the play, so it's all good. They didn't get it on that play.
Did they throw a flag on that? I can't remember.
They didn't. No, they called it as a clean hit.
Yeah, it was.
Dan the Cornman says, was anyone else disappointed Nick Bosa didn't get a sack on Sunday? I kind of set the bar for Bosa just a little bit, because, hey, you've missed all that time. If anybody played football, they'll know how strenuous double days are. The training camp practices and double days and all that are miles more difficult and more strenuous than regular season practices, actually. So Bosa missed a lot of cardio in that regard, and he missed he missed a lot of time with the team. And I didn't expect him to be the same guy right off the bat. But hey, he had the highest PFF grade out of all the Niner D linemen, and that's out of Javon Hargrave, Clelin Ferrell, Drake Jackson, who had 3 sacks. So he was in there with pretty good company. He still got the highest PFF grade. A lot of people were like, oh, he didn't do anything. He didn't do any good because he didn't get his sack. He made his presence felt out there. When you're occupying double teams and you're getting penetration, but you're still not getting a sack, so to speak, you're making your presence felt.
Dan the Cornman, I didn't expect much from Bosa. I just wanted him to survive. I thought he was going to get gassed out. I expected him to be gassed out early and then return to the bench. I'm shocked he played so much, actually. That was pretty impressive. I didn't think I thought, like I said, that with those week one games, they say that first drive, dudes get gassed out because they're going all out. And then they start to realize, yo, there's a whole game left. So I was actually surprised he played so much. I didn't expect much from him, to be honest with you.
I got you, bro. And let's talk about this. Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes, our new defensive coordinator. There were a lot of people that were complaining in the preseason. I wasn't one of them, actually. I was willing to just sit back and wait and see because I know how preseason can be from time to time. But a lot of people were worried. They said, oh, why is Steve Wilkes sitting up in the booth? What's he doing up there? He needs to be on the sidelines. He needs to be motivating and hyping up the players. And this is what people don't know about Steve Wilkes is he's not a rah-rah guy. He's just, that's not him. It's not part of what he is. If he feels comfortable, you sit up in the booth, you have the TV camera angles. You just have a much better angle of the field, the secondary, what goes on in coverage. And he is a secondary guy. And that's fine. Let him cook in the booth. Let him do his thing. So far, so good. Hats off to him. He called a great play, great day defensively. And I'm for it, man. What do you think?
I think he's not dealing with rookies. These are vets. These are vets on this defense, bro. These are professionals, bro. So he can get away with certain stuff. He doesn't need to be the pump. These dudes pump on themselves up. Did you see Warner when he laid them out, jumping up and just flexing on dudes? Like, man, these dudes, they're good, bro. They're good.
Dude, when Hufanga got that interception, actually, I need to rephrase this. Hufanga got the interception, but it was Warner that made it happen. I mean, Warner dropped back in pass coverage like a damn defensive back. Forgot who he was guarding, actually. It might have been a wide receiver. Anybody can correct me in the chat if they know who it was. But whoever it was, he blanketed him, tipped the ball up, and then Hufanga got it. Then Hufanga tried to do the lateral to Tayshaun Gibson. He was being unselfish, but did a little forward pass rather than a lateral, you know.
And that would have been Warner's second pick.
It would have too, yeah.
That first one was hell of coverage on the first one too. I thought it was like, man, I jumped up out of my seat. I thought he got it. I thought he snatched that thing.
Yeah, it was right to him actually. Yeah, he needs to do a little bit better. Hopefully, in a game where it matters, he does catch it. So yeah, it's a good for Hufanga. So what is Melissa saying? What's up, Melissa? She says, when will fans lay off our DCs? They trash Wilkes all off season. We keep improving from Saleh, Ryans to Wilkes. You know, when we first had Robert Saleh, I had to defend this guy tooth and nail because just too many people I knew out there would crap on him and say he sucked and he was weak or whatever. And my argument was this team doesn't even have any pass rushers, and we're still looking decent on defense. And that was before we had Bosa, so to speak. And then when we got Bosa, they're like, oh, well, Saleh's only good because we have Bosa, blah, 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 blah. Well, hey, Saleh got a head coaching job out of it, didn't he? And then D'Amico Ryans takes over, and nobody used that Bosa excuse for Ryans. Ryans got a head coaching job too. So it is what it is, man. I just hope that we can seal the deal with Wilkes as our DC. And if he does leave, at least we can say, hey, we won a damn Super Bowl, or maybe 2 Super Bowls with Steve Wilkes as our D coordinator. And who's this right here? Dan, the core man, says, not going to lie, I do miss Robert Saleh. I definitely missed him yesterday, man. Seeing him celebrate with the players in the end zone when the Jets won the game at the very, very end definitely told me a lot. And you think Saleh's going to get fired? Okay. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I mean, it does suck for the Jets, though. They did lose Aaron Rodgers. What did you think about that? Did you catch that game at all? Or?
Tragic. Just tragic.
They were hyping that up so much that he was on the team, man.
I feel, you know what? I typically don't root for people that ain't 49ers, but I always liked Aaron Rodgers. And I think I liked him because he's a California dude, right? And then the Niners passed on him, bro. The Niners passed on him. So I never had ill feelings towards Rodgers. I always liked him. There was seasons where I thought this dude's better than Brady. This is the best quarterback in the NFL. When he left Green Bay, I don't like Green Bay. I was glad, get out of there, bro. He went to the Jets. I was like, good, man. Maybe he can do something. I'd like to see him. He's getting up there in age, go finish with a bang. And then this happened, and I was like, yo, how horrible is that, man? Not only that, but for the Jets and Saleh, man, tough one, dude.
And remember we had that game in New Jersey. It's actually New Jersey. It's not. They don't play in New York, but at MetLife, and it was the 2020 season against the Jets. Bosa goes down with an ACL tear. The next play, Solomon Thomas goes down with an ACL tear. You have two ACL tears on back-to-back plays on their crappy turf. And the next week, we played the New York Giants in MetLife on the same damn field, and we lost our tight end Jordan Reed. He was really nice too. He was making some plays, getting touchdowns for us and everything. And yeah, it sucked, you know. Oh yeah, Jimmy got hurt in that game as well. You're right, Randy. Jimmy also got hurt in the Jets game. I didn't think it was that serious, but then later in the season he kind of got hurt again. And Melissa says that we have Chris Kocurek. Nobody has his energy on the field. Yeah, I mean Chris Kocurek is kind of like an assistant DC, kind of on the sidelines, and he's there to hype up and energize all the players. And nobody has more energy. I mean, as much as I like the way Robert Saul was celebrating with the players, nobody has more energy than Chris Kocurek does. That's for sure. And oh, you know what? That's the same game that Raheem Mostert got hurt too, huh? Wow, that is just I want to forget these things when all these good players go down. You know, it's like I don't know. Did you forget that as well? Did you remember that? Now I remember that you brought it up. Yeah.
Oh, so many players, but this is why I say things can change from one week to the next. And your season, you could be done that season from 1 week to the next. We just got to cross our
yes,
fingers.
sir. Yeah, you do. Health is wealth, as they say. So we'll see how it plays out. Dan the Corman says, "I hope the Niners had won the NFC Championship game last year. Who would we have? Who would we have attempted to get at quarterback? There was a rumor that they were supposed to try to get somebody. Why am I forgetting the guy's name? The dude that used to play for the Chargers."
Oh, Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. I just came out recently, actually. It may have came out a few months before that, but to me, I stumbled upon it. I forgot who put it out there, but Phillip Rivers was who the 49ers were going to contact had we made it to the Super Bowl.
They should have. They should have
did it before the NFC Championship game. We waited.
Yeah,
waited too long.
And when I had heard, because I had totally forgotten about Phillip Rivers. Well, it was this year that I found out, that the Niners were interested in. I was like, why didn't you? Why didn't you? It would have been perfect, bro.
Yeah, so it was I see Nick Wagner from ESPN.com. He's the one who put it out back on August 10th that Phillip Rivers was a contingency plan for the 49ers, and he was prepared to go to the Niners had we won the game, but he didn't, and we all know what happened, so it is what it is, man.
I don't know why they went after Josh. Was it Josh Johnson?
Yeah, you know what? When we got Josh Johnson, I was like, and that was when Jimmy went down. You know, when Jimmy went down, we didn't have quarterback. Trey Lance was already out, and we had to get a quarterback. And when we got Josh Johnson, I was like, look, I remember Josh Johnson way back when he was on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And when he was around back then, that was when Harbaugh first started coaching with the Niners. And Harbaugh had coached him in college, actually. He was pretty good in college, but he went to a smaller school in San Diego. Forgot the name of the university, but they were making the rumor like, oh, watch, Josh Johnson will probably be a 49er next year. And I was like, okay, whatever. But Josh Johnson's been in the league for 14 years or so. I mean, my long story short is throughout the years, I never saw it where I thought, like, even in relief duty or backup duty or whatever, oh wow, Josh Johnson's a good quarterback, or he's a really good backup. That thought never crossed my mind. So I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here as a team? You know, going after Josh Johnson, and when there's, I just thought there would have been better out there, you know, and the fact that they had Phillip Rivers in mind to get him out of retirement, why didn't they try to do that sooner? What were they waiting for come playoff time? You know, don't you think you want to do that a little bit sooner?
I don't know, but if you tell me Josh Johnson or Phillip Rivers, this is a no-brainer for me. Get Phillip Rivers over here, bro. And it would have been a good story for Phillip Rivers, because imagine if he would have pulled that off. If they would, instead of getting Josh Johnson, they got Phillip Rivers. They throw in Rivers in that game when Purdy goes down, and they probably would have had a chance, man.
Exactly. That's just, yeah, you know. And speaking of Brock Purdy, by the way, I didn't know this. But I didn't know this during the game or anything like that, but he actually broke a record for like NFL quarterback's first 6 starts. So basically in each of his first 6 starts, he's thrown at least 2 touchdowns. And I believe it was like over 220 yards in his first 6 starts. I think it was yards. And then also the quarterback rating. So So good for Brock Purdy. Hopefully he keeps it up. We haven't seen the guy necessarily lose yet. Well, technically he had a loss against the Eagles, but I'm not gonna really count that because he didn't really play. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna put that. They put it in the stats, right? It's in the history books. But come on, bro. I'm not gonna put that game on him. No way.
Mm-hmm. But definitely in the regular season, he still has that win streak going. Let's see. Randy Johnson. Sorry, Randy Johnson. When I say Randy Johnson, I'm thinking about baseball here. Randy Daytona says Rivers would have been squashed like a June bug.
I don't know. Rivers is always a tough quarterback. He took a lot.
He is a tough quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I didn't the last years of Phillip Rivers' career didn't really follow him too well. But I mean, not too long before he retired, he still was taking his team to playoff runs, and he was just always a really, really nice quarterback. It would have been nice to have had him like during the Harbaugh era. I think we'd have easily won a Super Bowl. But the last year he played was in 2020 with the Indianapolis Colts, and his last winning season was in 2018. Went 12-4 that year. But it would have been interesting. Who knows? It's funny as now that not funny, but it's just interesting. Now that Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I don't know if you saw, but they're bringing up Colin Kaepernick now. His name's coming into the conversation. Did you see that?
No, but I hope so. I'm a Kaepernick fan. Yeah, why not? I mean there was a couple years ago when there was all this when he was trying to try out and come back and all the bad publicity and all that stuff was going on. He's trying to get back into the NFL. That year, there was a lot of trash quarterbacks in the NFL, and I said Kaepernick's better than half the dudes in the NFL. So
yeah, I don't know.
I do.
I'm just saying it's been so many years since he's been out. I don't know why he didn't necessarily get his shot way back then when he felt like he should have. But it is what it is. It's just it sucks actually. And he got some money, some grievance from the NFL too. And if he steps onto the practice field for the Jets and they give him a workout or tryout or whatever, and they think he still looks like an NFL quarterback, who knows? Maybe he can get a shot. I don't know.
I think the best thing that could happen for everyone is for a team to get Kaepernick a shot, and if Kaepernick fails, there's no more discussion about anything. If he succeeds, you can't say anything either. I'd like to see him get a shot.
And keep in mind, if he steps in and he doesn't do well, I don't think it's necessarily a big knock on him. I mean, look how long he's been gone from the team. It's not like from the league, that is. And if he was in the league after all these years and then he ended up playing bad, it'd be another story. But it's like, he's been gone for so long. I mean, what can you really, really expect? You just have to set the bar really low with Kaepernick. That's why I look at it.
Well, bring him to practice and say, "Yeah, we looked at him and he doesn't have it no more." Fine, give him. I say give him a chance.
Steve-O says Kaepernick called the Jets for a workout. Okay, so that's what happened. All right, and Dan the Corman says Kaepernick is a mistake. Politics aside, he hasn't thrown in 7 years. He has tried out for 3 teams already. Hasn't made a spot. I think that's saying something. I know he tried out for the Seahawks last year, and I don't really know much of what became of that. Obviously, they didn't sign him or whatever, but I'm not sure how that worked out when he actually showed up. But let's see. What up, Nicholas? Nicholas Akalades from the Locker Room Rant says Jimmy G is still winning. Great. Yeah. This guy, he's a Browns fan, by the way. He goes on with John V on the Locker Room Rant YouTube channel. And his one of his other best friends, and Tony, he's a Buffalo Bills fan. It's been a while since they streamed. They took a little break from the channel because of they got some issues going on, but they'll eventually be back. And since the season's on and popping, as they say. And yeah, Jimmy G won. You can consider that winning. So I didn't watch the game. I heard there were still some Jimmy G moments that I was mentioning earlier, how watching Brock Purdy, I'm just calm. I'm enjoying the games. Like everybody would go on. Why do you complain about Jimmy when the team's winning? There are just multiple moments in a Jimmy G game for the 49ers where things would just go wrong and not look good. And on the flip side, so far with Purdy, I'm sitting back, I'm eating my popcorn, I'm chugging my beer, and I'm having fun, and it's all smiles when I watch the games.
Purdy comes on the field, you're like, come on, Purdy, let's do something. Jimmy comes on the field. We had him like, dude, don't mess up today, dude. Please don't mess up today.
There you go. Oh man. So hey, again, we're gonna wrap things up pretty soon, unless you still want to go. I think we pretty much covered everything. You know what? Let's talk about the Rams really, really quick. let's do that because we are going to be playing in SoFi, Levi South. Be a lot of the people from the chats, these YouTube chats, and Niner fans, our content creators, Niner fans on Twitter that are going to be headed out there. I need to go out to one of those Rams games one of these days. You said you haven't gone out to the new stadium yet, so maybe one day you can do that too. And Nicholas right here is going back. He's going back with his Jimmy propaganda. Says, Jimmy G has a better winning percentage than Peyton Manning. Oh wow, okay. But Peyton Manning's got 2 Super Bowl rings, though.
And by the way, I think the final score was 17-16. And the reason the Broncos got 16 was the kicker missed an extra point.
Okay. I covered this early in the show, Laura. How you doing? My main doubts about Purdy were more so his injury, not necessarily the way he plays, but I thought possibly that his injury may rub off onto the field, and he may not be the same guy. When you do get injured, it's kind of like getting it's something tragic happening to you. You might have it in the back of your head. You might be tentative. We saw with Jimmy G. So a lot of those things do happen. Or sometimes just players have hot streaks and then the following season they regress. Case Keenum did it. Nick Foles did it. I can go on and on about certain players that were one-hit wonders. They had the Jeremy Lin effect, so to speak. So, there's always every now and then certain things will pop in my head and will make me doubt from time to time. I'm all if there is going to be like a true competition between players just to find out who is the best, I'm all for that. They didn't really do a true competition with Trey Lance, but he's not here anymore, so I'm not really worried about that. And Purdy looks confident. He looks primed and ready. So, that at the end of the day, he looks like the guy that can be good enough to win this team a Super Bowl. This team has an amazing defense. It has amazing weapons. Special teams is looking pretty good. We didn't talk about special teams yet. We could do that really quick before we talk about the Rams. And, you don't have to necessarily have the best quarterback in the league to win a Super Bowl. It helps when you go up against Mahomes. I get it, but we'll see how it plays out if we do get that far, or when we do get that far. I don't like to have a crystal ball out here and say we're going to make any guarantees or anything like that. I'm not that type of guy, but you never know. So what is Melissa saying? She says, had never a quarterback won a Super Bowl. You're talking about Nick. Okay, got you. Yeah, Nick, I mean, Peyton Manning's got 2 Super Bowls. He's headed to the Hall of Fame. So he's got a lot of catching up. Jimmy's got a lot of catching up to do. I mean, you brought up that one step, but Jimmy's got a lot of catching up to do.
Not only that, I'm a Peyton Manning hater. And when they say that he was one of the best that ever played, I say, no, don't put him in that conversation. If you look at his 2 Super Bowl wins, he played horrible in those games. The defense won him that Super Bowl when he was with Denver, was it?
Well, when he was with the Bears, he was only playing against Rex Grossman.
Yeah,
Rex Grossman's Jimmy G.
Rex Grossman pooped his pants that game. And Peyton Manning did not look lights out. He didn't look like Joe Montana. That's the thing about Montana is every Super Bowl he played in, he was lights out. And again, that second Super Bowl he won, the defense won the game. Oh, and then with
the Denver Bronco team. I mean, Peyton Manning was kind of just a figurehead if you think about it. I mean, Peyton Manning was basically there to just not F things up, to screw things up. The defense was lights out, and he did good enough for them to win the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, he didn't screw things up, didn't throw interceptions, didn't throw picks, and he wasn't the Peyton Manning that we knew of on the Colts. But hey, it was good enough, right?
So Peyton Manning's not a good example, bro.
But I do consider him a Hall of Fame player. I mean, he's put up all kinds of numbers and 2 Super Bowls. Hey, whatever. Okay, so Steve-O says Manning hater. I don't know if that's for you. It's 50 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Rodgers bet I don't know what he means. Him and Rodgers are the best you've seen. Okay. Got it.
I'll take Aaron Rodgers any day.
Yeah, you mentioned you wanted Aaron Rodgers on the 49ers when it came to draft day. Like, Aaron Rodgers seemed like he just always seemed like a prick to me. I'll be honest. He's just not a likable person, but I can't deny what he's done on the field. Excellent player, and he's killed the Niners more so in the regular season, more so than the playoffs. And we've had his number in the playoffs, which I definitely it always made me happy to see that. And I experienced one of those games. I was at the game when Kaepernick had that awesome game in Candlestick against Aaron Rodgers in the divisional round, and that was just a great game to be at and experience. It was the last game I went to with my brothers, so a lot of memories for sure. And My brother kept every time the defense kept stopping the Packers. My brother kept standing up and mocking Aaron Rodgers, and he kept doing the discount double check thing or whatever. And no, we just had so much fun that game. So I'll never forget. I remember that game like it was yesterday. It was just a great memory that stuck in my head. So, okay, you said Kyle was smart enough to pass on Rodgers. Yeah, I mean, at this stage of his career, I'm not sure how much better he would have made our quarterback room. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, he's a legend, but we do have a younger guy who looks like he's ready to lead this team. He's a leader. Brock Purdy does have leadership capabilities, despite the young age, and the confidence is there. You always see it. So, it's an upgrade from Jimmy G, and that's all I can ask for. All I wanted to be honest, to be truthful and honest, was an upgrade from Jimmy G. I thought the team carried Jimmy G a lot, and a lot of people argued with me about that, but that's how I truly felt.
I couldn't wait till Jimmy G was gone, till his replacement arrived. I couldn't wait. I did not want another season with this dude.
Okay, so I didn't really get to watch the game. I was hearing certain mixed reviews about Jimmy G in the Raider game, and he did win. So Dan watched it. He said, I watched most of the Raider game, and just like before, when the game's on the line, Jimmy threw a pick in the end zone. Luckily, they still won. Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking for people to be perfect either, but Jimmy does throw picks from time to time. But he's on the Raiders. I'm not wanting him to do bad with the Raiders or anything like that. The Raiders don't affect us. They're not even. I mean, they're not expected to go to the Super Bowl. We're not playing them this year, so it is what it is. Last year would have been nicer to have beat them more considerably. We kind of struggled against them last year, but at the end of the day, W to W, when you look in the win-loss column, you don't see anything that says, oh, the 49ers won by 20 points or they won this game only by a field goal. And speaking of field goals, thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. She's talking about my brother. Rest in peace, Fadi. So it's let's talk about field goals really quick. We finally saw some positivity from Jake Moody. Finally, it took a while. A lot of people had their doubts, including myself. Like, why did we snag this guy so early? If he's making extra points look like he looked like a damn high school kicker at one point with those extra points and little measly easy field goals that normal kickers make. And what's going on here? I thought this guy's supposed to have this amazing strong leg, and I don't know how you felt when we drafted him initially. And a lot of people know that I wanted to get an offensive tackle with one of those third-round picks, and we didn't go that route. And I'm still iffy about that because we didn't. McKivitz didn't look too good in my opinion. But what do you think about Moody on Sunday?
You know what? I thought it was a good pick, and I was for it, and I'm still for it. How many games did Robbie Gould win us? How important is the kick to this?
It was very important for us.
Yeah, right? So I said, people, you guys spent a third-round pick on this dude. I said, the moment this dude kicks the first 55-yard field goal, everyone's going to say, what a great pick that was. What a great pick that was. Boy, did he turn it around, didn't he? From the preseason to this week one. The games are that matter. Games are what matter. And this dude was perfect, bro. And not only that, a lot of his shots were right down the center of the goalpost. He looked impressive, bro. He looked impressive.
Did the jitters ever kick in, though, where you're like, oh, he better not mess this up. He better not.
Yeah. But to me, it was mental. I was like, shit, this is not what you want because this is going to mess him up. And he's going to start trying to change his form or whatever the hell. So, yeah, it was concerning, yes. But, again, I don't know if they said that he had an injury going on or whatever, but I said, when it counts, it counts. Okay, this is what you're getting paid for. Week one, let's go. Dude showed up. And
exactly.
Looked impressive.
Yeah, and Mitch Wisnowski did a great job. We could talk about special teams. Mitch Wisnowski did a nice job of punting, actually. Some Niner fans rag on him. I've always had a faith in him. I always thought he had a very strong leg, and I've seen him make incredible punts where he does pin the other team within the 5 or 10 yard line. He did it a few times, actually. Pin the ball between the 10 like multiple times. Chris Osorno, what up? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. I think I've seen you one other time on here before. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. He says Brock, Mini Steve Young, Purdy. Okay. Brock has underrated quickness and escapability, which I like. I mentioned it earlier. It would have been nice if he had telegraphed TJ Watt coming in from the right side on one of those plays where McKivitz woofed the block. I'm very iffy on McKivitz now as well. We mentioned that earlier. Hopefully we fix those things. If we got more money than anybody else in the NFL right now to sign or trade for somebody. So who knows what they do in terms of the right tackle position. But we're talking about players not shining in preseason. Moody had a bad preseason, but Melissa says rather have someone not shine in the preseason than have a preseason darling like Dante Pettis. Yeah, he had a good preseason. Jalen Hurd was also in the preseason. McKinnon, Trent Taylor. Yeah, some of those guys that do well in the preseason don't do well in the regular season games. Totally get that. Randy Daytona says preseason is a terrible predictor of regular season success. It can be. It's happened. I've seen it multiple times in 49er preseason games, more so in the 90s, where there would be these running backs in the third and fourth quarter of preseason games that would just tear it up and have these crazy long runs, long touchdown runs. And then once the regular season came around, you never even saw them get the ball.
Randy Daytona, Pittsburgh Steelers fan, would not argue with you right now. Those guys are ready to hoist the Lombardi.
Yeah, during the week they were saying that Cody Pickett was looking like a real NFL quarterback in the preseason. The offense was looking smooth. Maybe they do pick things up after they played us. I mean, we tend to thrash teams and batter teams, and they don't always look like their normal selves when we play them. So maybe they do pick things up a little bit when they're done with us.
And you know what's funny is that Steeler fan at work was telling me, "You really believe in this Brock Purdy guy? Yes. You really believe he's the real deal? You really, they're gonna have tape on him now." I said, "Okay." I said, "They're gonna have tape on your quarterback too." But he was certain that Pickett was gonna shine Sunday, and again, pretty special, bro. Purdy is special.
I thought you said it's Purdy special, like pretty special, like a play on words.
He's a special quarterback.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, the corners did minus Ambry Thomas on one series. In general, the corners did fairly well. The secondary looked good, so hopefully Steve Wilson can just continue that. Let's talk about the Rams game really, really quick. Cooper Kupp's not going to play. He didn't play this week, this past game against the Seattle Seahawks, but we had Matthew Stafford threw for over 330 yards. Cooper Kupp was out, but some rookies, the Puka Nakua, has got a very interesting name from BYU. He had himself a nice game, over 100 yards. Tutu Atwell was another rookie receiver. Two rookie receivers, China had over 200 yards, had over 100 yards apiece. So they didn't do much on the ground, but what do you think about this Rams team coming up on Sunday?
I don't think this is going to be a light game. I think Niners got to go in their focus. The Rams know the Niners like the back of their hand. They scheme and they get players not just because they got to get through the Niners. So they're going to come prepared. I think that we got to focus on keeping Purdy safe because the Rams will be coming. And I'm looking forward to the challenge. If Stafford threw that many yards, I want to see how many yards he gets against this D. I'm confident in my secondary right now. I'm confident in my linebackers, and Bosa might be might have something to prove after last week's 0 sack.
Bosa's going to be gunning for a sack this time around, man. Yeah. Their O-line was pretty ass last year too, especially at the tackles. So I don't know how much they've improved. They did put up 30 points on the Seahawks, but they don't have a Bosa. They don't have a Hargrave. They don't. I mean, geez, man, the way Clelin Ferrell looks on this defense, and Drake Jackson coming around. I mean, it's going to be tough. The Seahawks don't have the defense we do, so we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, sure, the Rams are going to be the home team. Tyler Higbee had himself a decent game too, and actually the running backs did score touchdowns for the Rams. It was Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns. Didn't really run for many yards, 52 yards, 3.5 a carry. Cam Akers had 29 yards, 1.3 per carry, but most of the damage was done throughout the air. They ran a couple of them in. As far as their D line, I mean, we had 5 sacks total. I'm looking at their D line stats. It looks like they had 1.5 for the game. So I mean, the only guy that Aaron Donald had half a sack. The only guy I'm really worried about is Aaron Donald. They do have Akilo Witherspoon. Remember him? He's a cornerback, one of the starting cornerbacks for the Rams. So that's interesting. Former Niner.
It's gonna be so. We'll see if McKivitz can bounce back. Again, he had TJ Watt last week. Let's see how he does this week. And then I dare you to air it out on this defense. I dare you to, Stafford. I dare you.
With the Hargrave, even though Hargrave only had 1 sack, there were so many plays where I saw where they're doing these like not a swim move, or I forgot what they call it. What's it called when It's like a stunt move where, Armstead would go one way and then Hargrave would circle around the other opposite direction. They did that a few times and they didn't get sacks off of those plays, but you could tell that they made Pickett, hesitant on those plays, and he had to throw it much earlier than he expected to. So Melissa says DK Metcalf was shoving a kilo in the back was a punk ass move. I didn't see that. I heard about that. I gotta go. I'm kind of late with some of the highlights around the league for the other teams that I didn't necessarily get to pick up on. So definitely do got to catch up with that. Do you have a score prediction for this upcoming game between the Rams?
31-16.
Okay, so I was on the Bring the Heat podcast with Mariah and from the 49 Faithful Heat podcast over on her channel, and Ryan from No More Sports. I said 35-13. So, we averaged like close about 35 points a game last year with Brock in the lineup. And, we could have put up 40 this past game actually against the Steelers. There were a few drives here and there where penalties got in the way and some stupid mistakes got in the way. And, I just think this offense is looking like a well-oiled machine right now. And the defense is just pretty dope. So we'll see.
I will make a prediction. Purdy will throw for more than 2 touchdowns. He's going to get 3. I say he'll get 3 touchdown passes this week. That's my prediction.
My bad. I'm flopping around on my browser. Yeah, 3 touchdowns would be nice, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happens. We got some score prediction in here by Chris Osorno. Says 34-14. Okay, close to mine. I said 35-13. I believe the spread's 8.5, if I'm not mistaken. Melissa says Bash 2 games in 4 days. You see, I don't know what she's saying. You see some save for the Giants, or do we go bigger on McVay because it's Shanny personally? I'm not. Do you get what she's saying right here? She kind of stumbled me there. Maybe you might want to retype that one, Melissa. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. But she said 35-10, 49ers win. If anybody else has any score predictions, I can plop them up here on the screen. So you said Purdy 3 touchdowns. I'm going to say Debo scores the first touchdown. I'm going to expect Debo to get in the end zone this game. He looked really, really explosive and short little tiny spurts in the preseason. And they said he got in a bit better shape, more leaned out now, so he should be a bit more explosive. That's what they're saying. I think Debo's going to find his way to the end zone.
And then Kittle's due for 1.
He is. Kittle's due. And the ball can go to so many different. There's only one football, so it just can go. So many guys can kill you with this offense. It's really, really nice and a lot of fun.
Hey, so who does Jalen Ramsey line up against this week?
I'm thinking it's Ayuk. Probably Ayuk. Yeah, so and Ayuk is definitely primed and ready this season. They hyped him up as the best player in camp, and early on in the first game, he's just letting everybody know that hey, he's the man, he's the guy you got to stop. And at the end of the day, this team is always it's coming at you from all different angles. So it is what it is.
Or do you send Ramsey somewhere else and double Ayuk? Because Ayuk is cooking fools right now. You better double team this dude.
They got to do something, man. There's something they got to come up with. Chris Osorno says Brandon, Mini, Jerry, Rice, Ayuk. There you go. I remember when we first got Ayuk, some people were trying to say, or maybe the second year, some people were trying to say that he's kind of like a Devontae Adams. I don't know who to compare him to necessarily, but the toughness factor of Ayuk is what I really, really love. His route running is really nice. He can shake people, and he just doesn't go down easy when he has the ball in his hands. Loves to block. He's just fiery, and I love it. And and Debo's a tough guy too.
Remember early, he was dropping some passes, and we're like, God, man, this dude, if he just had hands, he could be something. Now this dude is on point right now, man.
Yeah, even last year, Ayuk had, so not Ayuk, but Debo had a little bit issues with drops as well. And this time around, he made some really nice catches. They weren't the most difficult catches out there, but they weren't necessarily easy catches either. So they weren't big plays, but they were nice catches here and there to help move the chains. So that was good. That's right. You know what? I was thinking in the back of my head, Melissa, that Jalen Ramsey might have been on a different team, and I wasn't 100% sure, but you are right about that. And I said that Akilla Weatherspoon is on the Rams right now, former Niner. He was on the Steelers at one point, but he left the Steelers.
It ain't gonna be good for the Rams, bro.
Yeah, here's a guy that I grew up with. What's up, Shabs? That's his nickname, actually. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Says, chiming in late. Just want to say what's up. Great win on Sunday. Brock looked good. Yeah, Brock looked really, really good. Again, I'm giving him his flowers. Again, I put it in the headline. Brock Purdy leads dominant 49er offense winning over Steelers. And the thumbnail of the video, you can see Brock. It's just Brock Purdy's. Nobody else on the Niners. That's who I put. So yeah. Randy says Jalen who. So so we got our score prediction. I'm expecting Bosa to get his sacks, like you said, too, a sack or two perhaps. Interception. Possibly Tyshawn Gibson. I'd say Tyshawn Gibson would be nice to see him get one. I predicted Hufanga last week, but maybe Tyshawn Gibson. Who do you think gets an interception?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner. Yeah, I think he wanted that one back that he dropped that was right to him, right? So that would be good to see.
And they're not gonna test Lanier.
Yeah, we'll see if they try to test him or Mooney Ward. One of the two. They did. Ambry Thomas did kind of get picked out a little. I still don't know who this team's nickel corner really is going to be. I mean, Oliver was out there for a little bit, but I didn't notice him. And we still have Samuel Womack. So who knows? Chris Osono says, I love the chemistry and mutual trust developing between Purdy and Ayuk, who's turning into a true number one. Their synchronicity is a beautiful thing to watch. Yeah, you just said it perfect, man. What else can I say, man? I wanted to mention something really, really quick. That the one little tiny thing that bothered me in the Steelers game, and hopefully it gets fixed. I believe it will get fixed. Knock on wood. Do not have Mitch Wishnowsky do kickoffs again. I like him as a punter, but don't have him kick the ball off. I mean, he never kicks the ball to the back of the end zone. The return men just like and the coverage was just so ass on the kickoff returns. Like come on, guys. Hopefully Moody. I heard Moody possibly is going to do the kickoffs against the Rams. So hopefully we see that, and hopefully they were saying he's got such a strong leg, and he should be the guy that's capable of kicking it back to the back of the end zone. So hopefully we do see that. And I believe that Moody was coming off an injury, so that's why they didn't have him do the kickoffs.
Yeah, and I
What's
agree.
up, Sonny? I see you.
It seemed like that kid, the Steelers were about to bust one. It's like, just kick it out of the end zone, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost better if they just kick it out of bounds and just get the penalty yards for just kicking out of bounds. I'd rather have that than a potential, 35-yard return that looks like it's going to be taken to the house if one guy slips and misses a tackle, or if you got your kickoff specialist, that has to try to make the tackle. Yeah. Oh, there was one play. Remember when they blocked the field goal? When they blocked Moody's field goal, yeah. And Mitch Wishnowsky picked up and ran it, and Wishnowsky ran like a 4.65 40, and I was like, oh wow, but Wishnowsky's going to take this in for a touchdown. When he got tackled, and then the team I thought the team was going to deny, because basically what it was the Steelers had jumped outside hella early, right? And I was thinking, I bet the Niners deny this penalty because we got the first down, but I didn't realize that we didn't get the first down. He was short, and so we just took the yards on the penalty, and we ended up making the field goal. What up? Somi says they wanted Moody to concentrate on field goals. Yeah, I think because the injury is coming off of, and that's fine. They did the right thing.
That makes absolute sense.
Yeah, he was coming off the injury and less pressure on him, so that's cool.
Yeah, I would have did the same. Now that he makes that point, he's absolutely right. I would have did the same thing. No, we can't take a chance on you getting hurt.
So Dan says, "Hey Bash, who gets the most yards? Is Sunday Debo or Ayuk?" Good question. Yeah, he's gonna say the safe ones for me. Ayuk just looks. I think Debo will get in the end zone. Don't get me wrong, but I think Ayuk will have more yards than him.
Or who gets more yak?
There you go. The Yak Bros. You never know with the Yak Bros, man.
That might be an interesting one.
Debo can get yak. Ayuk can get yak. Kittle can get yak. CMC. Possibly a Ronnie Bell. At least we saw in the preseason. Hopefully, it amounts to the regular season as well. So we'll see.
This might be a good game for Bell and Jennings. Let's start to showcase.
There you go. Randy says Debo doesn't look like the same yak guy. I thought he did in the preseason. He looked really explosive on a couple of plays, but so hopefully we do see it.
Debo's the kind of guy where you just keep feeding him, and he's going to take one to the house. But
eventually it'll happen.
Like we said, when Ayuk's that wide open, you got to get it to Ayuk.
I definitely agree. And Randy says, Bash, let me just put this on screen really quick. Bash, I wrote a rap from a Purdy perspective. on one of Lawrence's last community posts. Check it out. Okay, I'll do it. I'll look up. You're talking about Platform 246's YouTube community post. I'll check it out. You said you wrote a rap on there. I'll look for it. Yeah. So, anyways, it's pretty late right now. It's 10:54. I appreciate you coming on. We started at 9:30 actually. Warowski hit the guy up last minute. And due to the schedule, we had to do things a little later, but it's all good. No worries. Incredible turnout for an unannounced show that was spur of the moment. Everybody was awesome in the chat. I did my best to mention everybody on here if they had a question for me. And I don't think I skipped anybody or like that. If you're new to the channel, you can hit the like and subscribe button. There's a Venmo in the description box of the video. There's also Warowski's YouTube channel. If you don't know who Warowski is, he's called on the show a few times in the past, actually. And you can hit up his YouTube channel. It's in the description box of this video. And Dan says, let's see. I think I saw, Dan says, have a good night, everyone. Appreciate you being on here, bro. I know some of you are a little bit late. And people can always sit back and watch the replay if they didn't, catch it live. No big deal. And any last words, Warowski, before we end this?
No, I'm excited about this year. Again, this Ram game, I think is an opportunity to showcase a lot of talent here. But again, I don't take the Rams lightly because they know us like the back of our hand. And thank you for all those that stayed up late, dedicated fans. Nice to see. I'm just like you guys, man. I'll stay up and watch these shows too. So I appreciate you guys stopping by and typing and getting involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you again, Warowski. Thank you again, everybody in the chat. Hopefully the Niners go into the trap games do happen. I get it, but I think we're gonna be the Rams are gonna be overpowered and overmatched, and we're gonna have the home crowd, even though it's Levi's South. The home crowd's gonna be behind the Niners, and I don't care if the Rams fans decide to bring in those robots in the crowd as to pose as fans like the Chargers did. Not sure if any of you guys saw that. I was posting pictures on it on Bring the Heat podcast. What up, Osmosis? This is okay. Hang on. Before I end this show, I just want to say this. I met this guy a few times before he Candlestick. Great guy. There was one guy who, to my knowledge and to most people's knowledge in the 49ers Trash Talk circle, Trash Talk community, who was the first 49er video maker, content creator to put out videos. That's JP. Forgot the name of his channel. It's been so long. JP is a really, really cool guy. It's called something. I forgot the name of it. It wasn't 49er Mind, something else. But anyways, long story short, Osmosis was the second guy, to my knowledge, everybody's Nelson's knowledge, that jumped on YouTube to make videos about the 49ers. So shout out to him, man. Great dude. Says go Niners. Great to see you, man. I met the guy at Candlestick. Awesome guy.
I used to watch all the Osmosis videos.
Yeah, I had a channel for a short amount of time when Osmosis was doing his thing. It was called Bashar Cali 49. Laura says, great to meet you, Warowski. Good job tonight. Yeah, Warowski's awesome, man. He's called in on. He's called in before. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen him. He's called in a few times.
And good talk, Laura. You had some good talk today.
Yeah, Laura did a good job in the chat. Everybody did a good job in the chat, pretty much. And this guy's laughing. I'm not sure what made him laugh, but maybe he could tell us. But it's okay. We're gonna end it anyways. Everybody has to go to sleep, and it's all good. Yeah, we did have a blast when we met Osmosis. I got you. Those TTC days were fun too, man. And that's Warowski. He's an old school 49er fan on YouTube. You can check out his older videos. He did a lot of trash talking towards Dallas Cowboy fans and people that hate on the Niners, and he's really big on the trash talk.
These were the years where the Niners. This was pre-Harbaugh, and I'd go on there and I'd be on YouTube, and like you were just dreaming that one day your team could turn it around. And then I remember being at home. I could tell you where I was in the living room when I heard the Niners are signing Jim Harbaugh. And then that's it. Things just exploded, bro. And all of a sudden, the Niner video makers on TTC were put on the map, bro. Little by little, they were all getting showcased, dude. It was a beautiful time for TTC and YouTube videos, bro. It was awesome, bro. We had fun.
Yes, we did. And since this is for you, Chris Osorno, I know we're going to wrap it up, but this is a little bonus that we got here since I brought it up. Did the Chargers robots posing as fans? I did not see that song. I posted up here from Twitter. These aren't real people sitting in the crowd. I believe it's like a promo for this upcoming movie called Creator. These are this isn't it's a SoFi Stadium right here. These are two fake little football fans. Let's see. There's two other ones here. I don't know if it's real people wearing masks. I don't know, or it's kind of weird. It's just a trip. I don't know what they're doing with this, but it's just weird, man. So
you do know SoFi had to do something a little crooked when these Niners come to town. So I wonder what they're pulling up. Last time they had said they weren't selling tickets up north. Is that right?
What do you mean they're not selling tickets up north?
When they were taking over SoFi, that they were stopping. I guess Ticketmaster wasn't selling tickets.
They did try to do something like that. I remember.
Yeah, and it didn't go well. You know, it didn't go well for them. But they're trying something this year, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens this Sunday. As it's a 1:00 game, it's going to be interesting to see how red it is in SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, it's always super red out there when we play them. It's crazy how we just take over the stadium, and well, it's crazy how we took over the damn Steelers stadium. And even though there was more Steeler fans, and just they're all the way on the opposite side of the country, So it's gonna be a 1:05 kickoff. I had to see what time it was, just so people knew the exact time for kickoff. And Osmosis says they tried that for BS for us during the NFC Championship game, and it got shot down. Yeah, the first team to do it to us was the Seahawks. I remember. They had that stupid blocking policy where if you had a California zip code or whatever on your credit card, that you weren't allowed to make a purchase, which was ridiculous. So, but Niner fans found a way to make it out there. So there's going to be a Niner takeover, big time. Yes, I agree. All right, guys. Good to talk about some old school TTC on nostalgia. Actually, it's been a long time since I even brought that stuff up. The Trash Talk Circle on YouTube, it's an old school thing, but Osmosis being in the chat and you being the TTC guy that you were, I was on there for a little bit as well. Had a short run. Doing something a little different now. Great to have everybody on the chat. Thank you, Warowski, once again. Hope your Niners kick ass in SoFi Stadium, Levi South. With that said, keep repping the 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace. Let's go. Beat them Lambs. Beat the Rams. Let's go. Niners. Come on, 49ers faithful. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er